Hey y'all, so most of y'all already know me, but for my newbies, my name is Jasmine. I'm a realtor for the state of North Carolina. I own a freight dispatching company, and I'm also a mentor and a content creator and many other things. Like I write music and stuff like that, and I teach women emotional control and entrepreneurship. So let's talk about emotional control, right? I used to be so emotionally unstable, and I'm going to teach you exactly how I fixed it. So, as a woman, first of all, it's important to identify if you are broken, right? Are you broken? When I say broken, do you have something that somebody can use against you, knowingly or unknowingly, that is going to have you in an emotional state that you are no longer sober minded, so therefore you're not making rational decisions, right? So, let's say, for example, it could be your teeth, right? Somebody can come in and say something about your teeth, but you really have a big insecurity about your teeth. I used to be one of them. I got braces, right? It could be your complexion, whatever you may be broken in, because it's okay to have an insecurity, but once that insecurity starts to control your life, then now you have relinquished your power in that area, and some people will definitely exploit that. That's number one. The second thing is emotional control, right? When a person knows your weak spot, now you have become like Play-Doh in a person's hand when you don't have emotional control, right? Because it's one thing to have an insecurity, we all have them, but sorry, y'all, but it's another to actually allow a person to get you in a certain mental state, right? Because of that insecurity. See, when you are unbreakable, you can't be broken, right? So your emotional control comes from within. It comes from your ability to remain unbreakable. And the way that you remain unbreakable is by processing everything. And see, when you have an insecurity, or you can easily be picked at in certain areas, you relinquish your power. You give the devil what he wants. And see, that's why I used to be so emotionally unstable that I used to be like, yeah, I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna give you. But we have to learn that that still comes from a place of brokenness. That still comes from a place of brokenness, because what we have to do is this. When they say when the Bible says don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing, you have to learn to process things within yourself and understand, okay, what is this person, what do they want to get, what response are they looking for, what reaction is this person looking for, right? If somebody says something ugly to you, or somebody does something ugly to you, the natural response is be ugly back, say something crazy, go off. That is our innate response. But see, when you have power from within and you have not relinquished that power, you have the ability to process the information and make the best decision for your sanity, for your spirit, for your walk with God, for your will with God, right? So we have to, sorry y'all, so we have to know that there is power when a person doesn't get the reaction or the response that they were looking for. That's a sign of power. That's a sign of you being able to process and make the best decision. And that is also going to protect your spirit and your energy. See, your emotional control is going to come from your ability to understand who you are as a woman, to understand the pathway that God has you on, and to also understand that you have the power to remove people in your life that is not. Don't never be the type of person to sit back and complain about somebody in your life doing you this way, doing you that way, doing you this way, and you could just get out of their face, right? And see, that is also a sign of brokenness. We have to understand that you will never master emotional control as a broken person, period. You will never master your emotions if you're broken. Because if you're broken and you have insecurities and you have things that people can exploit and pick at, and you're going to get irrational and you're going to turn into a monster like how I used to, you have relinquished your power in that area to the enemy. And anytime the enemy gets a chance, he's going to exploit you. He's going to take advantage of your brokenness, because when you're broken, you are not sober minded. Remember, the Bible tells us to remain sober-minded. So therefore, if you are not sober-minded, you can't have emotional control. You have to be, and I want y'all to understand something. Brokenness is a mental thing. When you have made the decision that you will no longer be broken, you take your power back from people, from everybody on this earth, right? So when you decide to make that mental switch, you now have the confidence and the power that you need and that is required for you to be able to process your emotions. See, emotional control comes from your ability to be aware, your ability to discern. You can't be broken. You have to work on your brokenness, work on your insecurities, understand that you're insecure. Everybody has insecurities. Just consistently and constantly work on yourself, right? And then two, we have to understand this. Emotional control is a discernment. It also is an indicator of where your discernment is. You have to be willing to discern what exactly is happening. See, a lot of people they just react. That's not emotional control. So if you can't respond, there meaning that you have processed the information and have made the best decision for you, for your kids, for everybody around you, then you aren't ready to master emotional control. You gotta stop just reacting to everything. Everything that isn't. You shouldn't be reactive. You shouldn't be like a chemical. Somebody could just come and pour something on you, and you're gonna react. You have to be still. Emotional control is gonna come from your ability to wait on the Lord. Emotional control is gonna come from your ability to discern. Discernment comes from Christ, right? So I hope that helps. I love y'all so much. Peace.